is that over there in the home gym? It's a shake weight. Huh, I hardly even noticed it there in the home gym. Looks like just one of the guys here with all the old weights and stuff. I'm gonna have to review that.
Hi, this is John Sifferman from physicalliving.com, and this is a video review of the shake weight. No, it's not. It can't be. It can't be a video of the shake weight.
Oh, but it is.
Hi. Hi, this is John Sifferman from physicalliving.com. This is a video review of the shake weight training tool. I'm going to cover all the pros and cons, as well as what I personally think about it, and why I think that you probably shouldn't be using it. Alright, so let's get into it.
Alright, I know you want to probably get a look at the tool itself. So we'll start by looking at the packaging here. First thing you notice is that it says in only 6 minutes a day, you can shake your way to firm and fabulous arms and shoulders. Bold claim right on the cover. You'll notice it's been seen on TV. There's a 3-in-1 workout DVD included. You should probably know that I have not reviewed the 3-in-1 DVD myself, so please keep that in mind while you're watching this review. They claim that it is easy to use. In fact, it's fun and easy to use. You could even use it at home while watching TV or in the office. And you can get dramatic results in just 6 minutes a day. Includes a DVD, and it has a unique design. Now I want to talk about that unique design. Specifically, something they say here. It says that it uses a revolutionary, patent-pending, dynamic inertia technology that is scientifically proven to generate dramatic increase in EMG muscle activity compared to dumbbells. Now, EMG, I'm sure a lot of people know what that is, especially people who are interested in this product. I'm sure all of these models here could tell you exactly what EMG stands for. Actually, they probably couldn't even spell EMG. I'm sad to say. Oh, that was mean. I'm sorry. I'm sure they can spell EMG. Just kidding. So EMG, I believe, stands for electromyography, which is a method for measuring muscle activation or muscle recruitment or something to that effect. But see, this dynamic inertia technology is apparently scientifically proven to generate dramatic increases in muscle activity compared to dumbbells. Now, I would really love to see that science. Like, if the shake weight people watch this, and I hope they do, I would love to see that scientific research that proves this results in a higher EMG muscle activity compared to dumbbells. Just saying. I'm waiting. Now let's get back to that dynamic inertia technology. What is that? That sounds really high tech. You know, I'm intrigued. I want to know what dynamic inertia is, and we'll get to that in a second. You know, so what we're looking at here is the shake weight itself. What does it resemble? It resembles a small dumbbell with a funny shaped handle. You know, it's got that weird contoured surface. It's smooth. It's not textured or rough like most dumbbells or barbells are. It's really smooth, and it's a kind of a weird shape, especially because you're supposed to use both hands. I mean, I don't know why they shaped it like that. They've got a mirror on either side. You know, and it rolls, you know, rolls around the whole tool. I don't know why they put that here. If we put that in the sunlight, you're going to see that it kind of just like radiates beams of light, which I find a little distracting. And personally, if I were using this with other people around, I wouldn't want to be attracting attention to myself with extra mirrors, you know, sort of creating this beacon all around me. Also on either side, there's another mirror, and I don't know why that was put there, especially because this is really what you're looking at when you're using the tool. I don't know, maybe some people like to watch themselves when they exercise. I know that is a popular practice at most health clubs. So that's about it, with exception of one thing. You see this little device here? That, my friends, is the housing for the dynamic inertia technology. You want to know what's inside of there? A shock. That's right, folks. Dynamic inertia technology is just a fancy way of saying there's a shock in there. So that when you shake the weight, the weight that's actually, I think, mostly distributed in the ends here, that would make sense. That weight, which really isn't that much of a weight, I believe this thing weighs 2.5 pounds total. Hardly enough to be called a dumbbell. I mean, most like 2 and 3 pound dumbbells are turquoise or pink. But that dynamic inertia technology, I think the theory behind it is that it absorbs some of the force from shaking the implement. So, whatever purpose that serves. I think the theory behind it is that, we've been told in the fitness industry that impact is just a terrible thing and it causes injuries, especially from the running community. They say the impact of foot strikes causes knee problems, and so impact is a bad thing. So we want to limit the impact, which is why we want this dynamic inertia technology to sort of take some strain off of our joints. But as we'll talk about in a little later in the review, this isn't doing anything good for your joints. So I know what you guys really want. You want to see the shake weight in action. And I am going to show you everything I got. Well, maybe not everything I got. I think you guys would be a little frightened if I showed you everything I got. But I'll demonstrate a few exercises, a few of the main exercises. Again, I have not reviewed the DVD itself. I don't know all the exercises. I'm sure there's a lot of exercises that I'm just not familiar with. But I'll just show you a few, just so you can get the general idea of how shake weight is supposed to be used. Again, this grip is just awkward. That is definitely a mark off on the quality of this, and we'll discuss quality a little more later. So, the main exercise is just this chug right here, right? And obviously you can tell this is an arms and upper body exercise. Primarily powered by the triceps and the shoulder muscles, but you knew that already. I can feel it in the chest, in the back. You know that. This is not revolutionary information. Everybody knows what muscles this exercise is working, right? So that's the basic chug. Now there's a lot of ways to do the chug, and I think the most efficient way is one in which you apply the 7 key components of structure from the circular strength training system. And that is tying your leg drive with hip snap. I'm exaggerating here obviously, but leg drive with hip snap. Channel that through your core activation, primarily, ideally with exhale. So almost like a dog panting, not but relaxing your throat so that the air can just come in and out like a vacuum, being sucked back in and then just puffed back out. So leg drive, hip snap, core activation with the exhale, then keeping a long, tall spine, crown to coccyx alignment, so you're not rounding over, you're going to hurt your back or something, or hyperextending either. I've seen that. And then tying those 4 components together and channeling that energy from the leg drive into the tool itself. And you do that with shoulder pack, keeping the shoulders down so that they're not bouncing up and down, but they're solid. Good elbow lock, which isn't really a locked elbow, but an elbow that is fixed in space. And then good grip conformation. And so you don't want to be, limp wristing the implement here. A nice solid grip conformation. And when you tie all 7 key components together, results in this full body exercise. You can do this easily for 6 minutes a day. You can go forever if you get the exhale correctly. So that'll help you manage your fatigue. And again, it's a little weird staring myself in the face with this mirror here. It's a little distracting.
but you get the general idea. So that's the main exercise. There's a lot of others. You can do it behind your head. It's probably better for triceps, right? You can do this one right here. You can do 2 at once if you want to get crazy, right? That's probably better for biceps. But this brings me to my next point, which is you really have a narrow margin of use. This doesn't serve a big variety of purposes, even as a fitness equipment tool. Really it's only designed to be shaken. So right there you're limited. So you're spending $20 for a tool that you can shake. I have to ask myself, why couldn't you just shake something else? I mean, yeah, here's a 10-pound dumbbell. This is 400% more effective than the shake weight. That's because it's 4 times heavier, folks. 400%. They should, the dumbbell manufacturer should put that on in their advertising. 400% more effective than a shake weight, and it doesn't make that funny noise, right? You could just shake a dumbbell and get the same exact effects. You could use a turquoise or a pink one if you really have to, but why not, right? You can hear my ring bashing on it there. But same thing. Empty a water bottle so it's only halfway, or a really heavy soup can, right? Why spend $20 on a shake weight? It's just my opinion. I'm not trying to bash it, right? So yeah, that is a data point against it. I mean, it really doesn't have much purpose outside of it. I mean, you're not going to do other exercises with it. I mean, I suppose you could clean and jerk it, right? Jerk it into position. You're not going to do bicep curls. I guess if you did for a long time, you could really tone your arms, but probably not going to happen. I suppose in a zombie apocalypse, you could bash a zombie with this and get a momentary advantage where you can retreat to your attic or somewhere else that's safe. So I guess it does serve more than one purpose. That said, I guess we'll get to the point of the review where I cover the pros and cons. So we'll start with the pros. I'm not really sure that I can think of anything that is a pro or an advantage that this training tool has. Maybe we'll come back to that. I'm probably just having a moment, right? So we'll start with the disadvantages. First, the equipment itself, cheap, and shame on you shake weight people. You should have designed something of much higher quality. I feel like this is going to break in my hands. It's going to fall apart. And in some of my research, I heard that people bought these and it broke the same day. I read that in Amazon.com reviews. I read a lot of stuff in Amazon.com reviews as I was researching this. But it is cheap, and it's just not well made. It's very clear that very little thought went into making this. Probably not from somebody who has any experience with fitness. Just because of this handle, these mirrors, the shocks are cheap. It makes this weird noise. It's awkward. So design and the equipment quality itself, I mark very low. We already talked about how it has a very narrow margin of use. When I'm reviewing fitness equipment, one of the highest marks something can get is if you can use it for a lot of different purposes. And this really doesn't serve a lot of different purposes. I mean, this is used to flex some muscles in your upper body, some muscles, not even all muscles. You can apply the 7 key components of structure and make it a full body exercise, right? But most people don't do that, and I'm pretty sure they don't teach that in the 3-in-1 workout DVD. Again, haven't reviewed it myself. So those are 2 really big marks right there. The meters, just distracting, awkward. Why would anybody want meters on their fitness equipment? I don't know. Let's see, what else is there? I'll say another one. This is not proven. This is not scientifically proven. As was guaranteed on the box about the dynamic inertia technology. Something that isn't scientifically proven is that this could possibly cause joint problems or injuries. Namely, I would think with the rapid flexion and extension of the elbow, especially without hardly any rotation at all. I mean, the elbow doesn't just flex and extends, it rotates. So you got this very, very specific, narrow range of motion here. Look, my elbow is not fully flexing and extending. It's just doing this little chug, right? That repeated over time, 6 minutes a day, a few times a week, over several weeks, which is how I would imagine this is meant to be used. You're probably creating a recipe for tennis elbow or elbow tendinitis. The same could probably be said, there's probably a slight risk of getting carpal tunnel syndrome. So people who have past injuries or past pains or discomforts in the wrist, elbow, or shoulder, they're not going to be able to use this. And even if you don't have a history of it, there's a good chance, I would say, that you will eventually hurt yourself doing this. And that's just because we know that repetitive strain injuries are one of the most common forms of injuries in fitness. And this type of tool only exacerbates that problem. That said, also something I dug up in my research is that people who tended to rate this low on Amazon.com, give it a really poor score, actually reported that they injured themselves from using it. And the most common injury, it wasn't a wrist or elbow injury. The most common injury that I came across was actually somebody who strained their neck or their back using this. And they must have been really getting into it. Going crazy with this thing. And then something happened, they strained a muscle in their neck, or, hopefully they didn't herniate a disc or anything. You could work really hard with this thing, right? But that's just mostly because people don't know how to exercise and they think the only goal is to shake it. And that's not necessarily the best option. You want to use the 7 key components. You want to keep that long spine. You want to relax everything that is not necessary. Only create tension that is necessary to perform the exercise, and anything extra is just wasted energy and an injury that is waiting to happen. So that's another mark off on this. This is not a health first training tool. This is I don't even know what this is primarily for. So that's about it. The pros and cons. If I didn't think about one, it just came to me right now. One advantage, I wouldn't even say it's an advantage, but something that isn't a disadvantage is that using this will burn calories, folks. It does burn calories. So I guess it has that going for it. In the same breath, almost everything burns calories, right? Laying down burns calories, breathing burns calories, digestion burns calories, chewing gum burns calories, even sleeping burns calories, right? So I guess that's really not a really big medal of honor that this thing has. Pretty much anything burns calories, and they claim that you can get the firm and fabulous arms and shoulders using that, and is that true? Maybe. Who knows? I mean, basically, it depends is the answer on that. What are you doing when you're shaking this? You're contracting your muscles, right? Rapidly, in both directions, right? You're doing these little chugs and you're contracting your muscles. So yeah, contracting your muscles, using your body. Did you know that using your body actually tones your muscles? It conditions your muscles. Everything we do is an active conditioning. It's not just exercise that conditions us, it's everything we do. We get conditioned from our activities. Any type of movement conditions the muscles. So yeah, this will condition your arms and shoulders, no doubt. So that's really not revolutionary information, folks. They might plaster that all over their advertising, but it's really not as fantastic as it may sound. So got the pros and cons covered. What's left? I mean, I guess who is this best suited for? And I'll give you my honest opinion. I think that a certain type of athlete would really benefit from this. It would be an athlete who regularly participates in activities such as Yankee Swap, where you exchange sometimes gag gifts, and I think that's what this serves. I think this is a perfect gag gift. I don't think it's a good fitness tool at all. I think it's a terrible fitness tool, if you could even call it that. You know, folks, this is basically a complete gimmick. And if you thought that, you know, I hate to say it, but if you really thought that this was something that was going to help you get in better shape, or tone your arms, or anything to that effect, then you've been misled, you've been lied to, you've been had. And that's just my opinion. And sure, I'm a fitness coach, but again, you know, I'm not an expert in the shake weight. I'm not a shake weight certified professional. You know, I'm not associated with them, of course. So, you know, just take my opinion for what it is. You know, I'm not an expert in this matter. So, but yeah, if you participate in Yankee swaps a lot, then you could probably get a lot of good laughs by wrapping one of these up. And you know, all you really have to do is put a bow on it, right? People are gonna spot this from a mile away. So, I guess that's that. This is John Sifferman from physicalliving.com. I hope you learned a lot about the shake weight, and I hope that you never ever have to use one of these. Take care. So if you're having trouble like grasping the concept, I thought of a really good analogy to help you visualize it while you're doing it. You know what's funny? A lot of people actually thought that these things were battery operated. Like people actually bought these at the store, brought them home, found out that they weren't battery operated, and returned them because they thought that they had been sold a scam product. But one of the great things about this is you can do this anywhere. I mean, you can do this at the gym, you can do this at home, in the bedroom, you can do this on a kitchen table if you wanted to. I mean, these look a lot better when you're doing them shirtless, obviously. I mean, you can do all sorts of tricks too. You can like flip it around and then shake it like that. Did you see that face there? That was pretty sick, huh? You just get really into it, you know? Oh yeah!
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to scare you. It's okay.
Just scared my son. Woo! You gotta be careful using shake weights around young children. You probably want to lock your door. I'm not really gonna publish this.